What is Generic Human Studies by Dr. John K. Pollard III? That's me. So what is Generic Human Studies, also called GHS? First of all, it is a codified information system, also called a smart system, designed to help you, the user, diagnose and resolve difficult problems you may be having with your body, mind, or relationships. GHS can help you in many ways depending on how you use the system. The GHS system presents a series of thinking algorithms similar to those designed for software programs. In the same way that computer smart systems can now beat human grandmasters in chess, the GHS system can often successfully outdiagnose medical practitioners and psychiatrists, as well as traditional religious or New Age teachings. GHS is also a philosophy, science, and art. Philosophy is a system of thinking. Science is the collection and codification of verifiable knowledge. And art represents the practitioner's skill in applying the philosophy and science of a system to everyday human problems. The GHS system is designed to evaluate and heal body, mind, and relationship problems. Question: why use the term generic? The word generic describes a basic product or idea without a trademark or brand name. It also describes the fundamental aspects of a person, place, or thing. For example, a generic car has 4 wheels, an engine, brakes, a steering wheel, etc. If you put this collection of common characteristics together, what do you have? You have a generic car. On the other hand, a Lexus automobile also has 4 wheels, an engine, brakes, and a steering wheel. Yet a Lexus is seen as different from a generic car in many ways. It has a 12-speaker interior sound system, advanced ergonomic styling, Japanese craftsmanship, luxury leather seats, a higher price tag, etc. The differences between non-generic cars can be many and varied. They may involve key components or superficial attributes. Yet if you look at the generic attributes of all cars, no matter how different they may be from each other, they still contain the generic attributes any car must have to remain a car. Comment: but the term generic has a negative connotation. The word generic is considered negative only when the general public doesn't understand how the term is used to identify human problems. When they do get the connection, the term generic is considered positive, and people enthusiastically embrace the term. Perhaps you've heard the phrase principles before personalities. GHS defines principles as the generic truth behind information, as opposed to the personality of the person teaching the information. In today's popular culture, people are often so impressed by the messenger, they are oblivious to the weak or pointless information he or she is presenting. Question: how can you use the term generic when describing human beings? Various individuals and groups have isolated and described generic principles in the areas of body work, mind work, and relationship work, using their own brand name terminology. Many of these ideas are excellent, yet these people and groups often charge high fees or unreasonable amounts of time to study their ideas or teaching. Most teachers' workshops and spiritual groups teach essentially the same principles using different names, procedures, or outlines. Yet their issues, concepts, or information are identical to the generic perspective. Typically, these teachings remain provincial, with limited viewpoints that become the center of their observations, rather than a window to the generic whole. A few of these groups claim their brand name version of generic information to be different, unique, or the only source of knowledge, when in fact many of these systems are direct spin-offs or rip-offs of previously known systems. Question: why use the term human? The term human is used because all the information in generic human studies applies to each individual member of any human society, whether past, present, or future. Each GHS concept is universal to all humans at a similar stage of development. Every human being has a similar body, mind, and similar relationships, once you see this from a generic perspective. Learning GHS is to learn what similarities all humans share, rather than to concentrate on the superficial external differences. Question: why use the term studies? The term studies is used because this brand name of information, generic human studies, is a body of information that must be studied through reading, observation, and practical application. The GHS system, though simple to understand, has deeper and advanced layers of information. To understand its breadth and depth would take years. To benefit your life for a major problem could take minutes. Question: so how does generic human studies make things easier? Each category of human knowledge has commonly accepted principles that are known, taught, and learned by those who study in that particular field. GHS concerns itself with the principles of human healing and interaction. We are all human. Our bodies, minds, and relationships all work the same. It's time for us as a world population to face this reality. There's no longer a reason for one guru or philosophy professing the reality of life to fight with another guru or philosophy unless they themselves do not understand the GHS principles connecting all humanity. GHS gives everyone a universal language that can be understood by everyone. It is not difficult to comprehend, nor is it simplistic. GHS can be as complex as humanity itself. By starting with what is already known generically, you have a solid foundation upon which to pursue further study. Question: why do we need generic human studies? Why can't humans be satisfied with what we already know and accept? Why do we need a new system with yet another explanation of how life works? Because GHS connects these systems together in the same way as the trunk of a tree connects the branches to its roots. The GHS information system evaluates the human experience at its root level of body, mind, and relationships. Think about it. There are many more similarities to humans than there are differences. Doesn't an Arab's face have two eyes in the same place as a Jewish face? Don't Chinese have the same basic body structure as Africans? There may be superficial differences, but how is it that all the diverse races of man have only produced two sexes in similar sizes with identical organs and body parts? Question: what is the founding principle of generic human studies? By observing and categorizing conditions common to all humans, the GHS system approaches human knowledge as generic in scope, rather than limited by a specific culture, religious, or political system. We don't strip away cultural, religious, or political variations, we just put them where they belong, external to the generic human realities. GHS digs a deep well down to the bedrock truth of humanity. Generic human studies defines a new standard for the study of human potential. The GHS system has distilled the concepts of human potential to a generic core, thus making the evaluation and solving of human problems simpler and easier. If it's not true for cavemen 10,000 years ago, then it's not true for GHS today. Any body, mind, or relationship inside of GHS has to be true for all of humanity's existence. Question: what is the purpose of generic human studies? The purpose of generic human studies is to provide focus and self-training for students and teachers who want to help themselves and others increase their enjoyment of life. The initial idea of the GHS SMART system is to give the student practitioner an organized way to learn more about the problem areas in which he or she is interested. Many outside books, tapes, and videos are referenced, or not, in their appropriate place, without using brand names, cult concepts, or personalized labels, and with no exclusionary policies. Question: what is the guiding philosophy of generic human studies? GHS has the following guiding principles. 1. We are all human and we all have needs. It's time to admit this to ourselves individually and collectively. 2. We must begin to help each other fulfill our mutual needs. And 3. Human needs sustain happiness by fulfilling each other's mutual needs. Question: who would want to use the GHS system? Anyone who has or wants to evaluate and or fix a major body, mind, or relational problem will want to utilize the GHS SMART system. The first step is to evaluate the problem in a comprehensive manner so you know what and where the problem is. Next, you follow the generic steps to fix the problem yourself or have it fixed. This video introduces the topic of generic human studies. To learn more about this system, the complete text of GHS is available on Amazon.com. The website www.generichumanstudies.com has more information and details about books by Dr. John Pollard. You may also email me directly if you have further questions.